Hi, it's Kim from Expressions of the Universe with your mid-March updates. And I have so much for you. So you will have to maybe check out the timestamps as I will be doing that. This episode is chock full. First of all, new deck alert. I haven't even opened it. You could see it's still in the plastic. It is the Dream Weavers Oracle. I would like to do a reading, pull a card for every zodiac sign for the first day of spring, the vernal equinox, sun moving into Aries, followed by the new moon in Aries. So, and we can explore this deck. I've seen a few of the cards. I pre-ordered this a couple of months ago, and it actually showed up 2 weeks early. Perfect. So I have that. I have your crystal of the week. I also was thinking, since we're beginning the astrological new year, which is the vernal equinox, but that's in the northern hemisphere. In the southern hemisphere, it is the autumnal equinox. Pull word for everybody for your personal year, for each zodiac sign. What else? And I have the astrology. We have a lot going on. I don't know if you've been feeling it, but this particular week, the middle of March, has been really intense. Just so many aspects. Like one day had over 20 specific aspects. We have a lot of planets moving into other signs. If you saw my March astrology highlights, I listed, some of the bigger things that are happening, but I couldn't by any chance talk about all of it. So I'll be talking some more about that. Let's get started with the crystal for the rest of the month. I think this is really going to help us. I picked this at random. It is from the Healing Crystal Oracle deck. It's a really old deck, and I don't even know who made it. I don't have the box or anything that came with it, but it is rose quartz, and I pulled out one of my smaller pieces of rose quartz. It's definitely so great for your heart chakra, even like your crown chakra as well. Rose quartz has so many healing properties, but what I love best about it is it promotes calmness and peacefulness. It promotes love. And we are really going to need to stay in that space, because I feel like the astrology is just getting crazier by the day. But with that being said, the astrology, what's good to point out is certain things happen on a particular day, but that doesn't mean that the energy goes away. So when we're approaching an aspect, you're feeling that energy, then it hits. And then even though it's separating from that energy, it's still leaving almost like a chemtrail of that energy behind. Kind of like Mars in Gemini, getting ready to move into Cancer. In addition to what I said, it attracts love into your life, opens your heart. It is the stone of unconditional love and infinite peace, brings you loving vibes, enhances positive vibes, positive affirmations. It teaches you self-love and acceptance and forgiveness. So I think this is really good. I'll post more about this on Facebook and Instagram in the coming week. I don't know if some of you saw my post. I was out in the garden the other day, and I found $20 wedged under my fence, but like part of it was like immersed in mud, so I had to peel it out. But somehow, while I was out gardening, I lost my glasses. So I had to buy a new pair of glasses. These are totally different than what I'm used to. They're only readers. So I don't know. What do you think? They're really not me. They're too big, but I couldn't get the ones that I usually like without the rim. So we'll see. I couldn't get it in my number. But I bought two different ones, and I wound up spending the $20 I found on new glasses. Yeah, I thought maybe I left them at the shop where I get my lottery tickets, and no, they weren't there. Before I get into all of what I'm doing, let's do the word for the new astrological new year, which begins on March 20th, when the sun moves into Aries, and then shortly followed by the vernal equinox. Or is it the other way around? Well, they should be occurring at the same exact time. Let me look at my astrology calendar. Let's see. Spring equinox, Ostera. Sun enters Aries. I think they're at the same exact time, which is 5:24 p.m. on Monday, March 20th. That would be 2:24 p.m. Pacific time. And if I'm not mistaken, it'll be 4 hours difference for London, UK. So it will be 9:24 p.m. London, UK time, I think. I'm pretty sure. So it's not until in the evening. And then the next day on the 21st, that's when we have the new moon in Aries, also at 0 degrees. So what prompted me to want to pull a word for all of us is my friend Dawn, the artist at Painted Willow Art, and she just created one of her fantastic ladies. She came up with her word for the year, which was, or is, discernment. And I was just so blown away by that, because I have been feeling the energy of discernment. And that's kind of what I've been doing for the past few months, being very discerning on where and how I'm using my energy, who I'm hanging out with. Like I've been really kind of hermetizing, and it's discerning energy. And I just loved that word. And just knowing what the astrology is, that we're moving into, we're shifting into completely different energy that we haven't been in for, 20 years, 15 years, and in some cases for Pluto, 250 years nearly. So this is brand new energy for us. And I think discernment is a wonderful word for all of us for this year. Well, let me pick for you guys. Now, you can pay attention to your sun sign, your rising sign, your moon sign, as always. Anything that screams out to you. And yeah, we'll go from there. All right, so Aries, which this is, we're coming into Aries season. New beginnings, spring, Ostera. Oh, I love that. Aries, your word for the year is love. And I really feel like this is self-love, especially with Chiron in Aries, the wounded healer, in the sign of the self, of the me. How can we heal those wounds within ourselves that make us feel worthless or inadequate? So that's really perfect. And I'm not liking these glasses, but it is what it is for right now. I'm hoping I can find my glasses in the garden before I mow over them. Okay, Taurus. Oh, understanding. Understanding is your word. And that could be understanding another, having more understanding of yourself. Oh, excuse me. I have a hair that keeps coming down and going in my nose. Excuse me. So yes, understanding. I think, what is this? Sorry. Part of understanding is also acceptance, is what I'm hearing. Gemini. And my friend Dawn, who came up with discernment, is a Gemini. Oh, I love this. Presence. Presence. And I have to write that down because there's a lot of things that I wanted to talk about. Let me write that down. Presence. Because that's one of my themes that had come to me. So this is about being uber present in the moment. And I'll talk more about that a little bit later because I had like an epiphany today on the way to the grocery store. Cancer, big season coming up for you with Mars moving into Cancer. That's perfect for Cancer, and it is surrender because Cancers, I will be talking more about this. You are going to possibly be going through a little bit of a difficult time with Mars moving into your sign, specifically because Mars doesn't like being in Cancer. It's in what it's called its fall, which is its least favorable sign. And so therefore, it could be a little bit of a difficult time. So yeah, surrender. Surrender, Dorothy. Leo. Leos. Leos, we have trust. This is a big one, Leos. Trusting in yourself, trusting in others, trusting and having faith that all will be well. I feel like a lot of times Leos sometimes maybe put too much trust in others and then they're disappointed. So that's where discernment will definitely be coming in. Virgos, little virgins. All right, what do we have? Celebration. Okay, we'll see about that when I look at the charts, but Virgos, maybe it's a time to celebrate. Spring is here. Yeah, you know what? Come to think of it, so Virgos, much like Taurus, they like to get their hands in the dirt. They like to be out in the garden, be out in the earth. So if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, spring is coming, so it's warming up and you'll be able to get outside. So yeah, I would say celebrate, but also remember every day that you wake up is a celebration, right? Libra. It is your word and energy is light. And this is about seeing the light in the darkness, being the light in the darkness, be a rainbow for somebody in their life, shine the light in areas that need to be seen, Libra. So it's like you see injustice being done, shine that light. Scorpio. Support. So some of you Scorpios, you may be in need of support, but also where can you be of support to others? Where can you help others out? And This is also saying call upon your angels if you, in fact, are the ones that need the support. Call them in, ask them to help you. They're sitting and waiting. They can't intervene without you calling upon them. Sagittarius. Ooh, flying through the air like a Sagittarius. Resilience. Sagittarius, this could be a little bit of a trying time that we're coming into. Aries is a sister fire sign of yours. So it could be, you know, fueling some fires, putting some fires under your butt. This is about resilience, flexibility. Sagittarius, you are a mutable sign. So this is, you know how to do this. You know how to be resilient. You know how to bounce back. That's what I'm hearing. Capricorns. Capricorns, education. So Pluto is getting ready to move out of Capricorn for the first time in 250 years, only for a few months before it retrogrades back in. But education, this is time for you to expand your mind, learn something new, educate yourself, teach people. This is getting out of your old mindset too. But I really feel like this could be opening new doors for you, especially with Pluto moving into Aquarius, like coming off of the Capricorns and saying, all right, it's time to step things up and learn something new so that you can have the life that you want. You know, even pick a topic like hobby-wise that you could learn something new about, something that you've never tried before. Aquarius, this is going to be huge for you for the next 20 years with Pluto moving into Aquarius. This is about release. And it's perfect because, you know, Pluto is the planet of transformation, death, endings, new beginnings, moving into the sign of Aquarius, which is the rebel, the revolutionary, the humanitarian, the scientist, the eclectic. But this is saying, in order for new things to be coming in, you will have to put an end to some things. You will have to release some things and let them go, even if it's old thought patterns. And junk, I'm hearing. Junk and clutter. Last but not least, Pisces. Saturn just moved into Pisces. So this is a 3-year transit. I have my Saturn is in Pisces, so I'm getting ready to go through my Saturn return. We'll talk about that at another time. And it's a very long Saturn transit. It usually only spends maybe 2 to 2.5 years, but he's going to be retrograding back and forth through Pisces, just grinding down on me, asking if I've learned my lessons. Saturn is the Lord of Karma. He's the disciplinarian, the father in the sky. Pisces, your word is power. And so there will be restrictions, but this is asking you to like go really deep inside and find your inner power. You put Saturn to use because Saturn can be your best friend. It all depends on what you put out is what you're going to get back. And you're coming into a 3-year power time, Pisces. And I love that for you. It's a big shift in energy. All right. So there are those cards. All right. So we did the crystal. We did the power words, the angel words. Let's talk some astrology. Okay. So what do I have on the agenda? I have my calendars all here. I was working on a really nice piece. I'll show you real quick. Took a picture of a downy woodpecker out my kitchen window, and the picture's like this big. And I was so frustrated last week that I decided to draw the picture, and this is what I got. And I still have to do some more detail work and put his little red cap on. But I'm pretty happy with that. Got my frustrations out. Art is a great tool for therapy, for mental release, mental frustration, because when you're focusing, even if you're just doodling, and I posted my friend Dawn's little things here and there, especially on Instagram, because she kind of moved off of Facebook. Even if you're just doodling, it takes your mind out of that crazy space, and you have to focus on what you're doing. So if you find yourself being overwhelmed, in addition to breathing, counting to 10, maybe just like doodle on your paper, color it in, fill it in. And while you're doing that, you're taking your mind out of that frustrated space. Also, too, another good tool is if you're in like a mental loop, you can't stop overthinking everything. Try and stop yourself and take a deep breath and look around and find 5 things that you can see, hear, smell, that bring pleasure to you. Though doing that and like, tapping into your senses will also take you out of your mind, out of your head. All right, so let's see. All right, we've got a lot. I'm going to pull up the slideshow that I had from a couple of weeks ago, because I had a lot of charts and information in there. We're not going to spend a ton of time in there, but it's just easier than creating a new one. So this is the mid-March update. And do you remember I posted this slide? If you saw the video, great. And then I also posted this on Facebook and Instagram. So we're halfway through the month, and the rest of the month is chock full. This is where we are. Venus just moved into its home sign of Taurus, which should be really lovely, but there are some difficult aspects that are happening here. Venus does love luxury, does love decadence, likes good food and, good fabric, really nice comforter and clean sheets, sparkly things, beautiful art, delicious food and wine or drinks. Just be careful about overspending, because we could have a tendency to splurge, especially if you are Libra or Taurus, or have, Taurus rising moon, Libra rising moon, because that's also ruled by Venus. And we could have a tendency to say, well, I'm worth it. I deserve it. I work hard for this. And then a month from now, when you get the bill, you're going to be like, oh shit, I got to pay the mortgage or the rent or whatever. So yeah. St. Patrick's Day trickery, pack day of astrology. So we're really under some tough aspects that are very accident prone. We're not fully in our heads. We're like more in a dreamy type of space. So just be super careful, especially if you're out drinking. Even though I am recording this on St. Patrick's Day, I'm a little bit late. I've been planning to do this almost every day this week, but I've been going to sleep early. So March 19th, Mercury will move into Aries. This is a little argumentative and volatile. Mercury in Aries just wants to go, 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 go. We could find ourselves overthinking, and that's why I also mentioned those techniques. But we have to be really careful about not getting into arguments, especially, some of these aspects are so intense that our egos are taking over. So we really want to check ourselves before we wreck ourselves, and think before you speak, especially after Mars moves into Cancer next Saturday. So then on March 20th, we have the vernal equinox, where the sun moves or ingresses into Aries, 5:24 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9:24 p.m. London, UK, and 2:24 p.m. Pacific Time. Hopefully you can figure out other time zones if you need it. And then the following day, March 21st, new moon in Aries at 0 degrees, 50 minutes. And so 0, that's the beginning of everything, the culmination of spring, of, you know, new beginnings. It's all of that energy right there, similar to the 29th degree, the anaretic degree. March 23rd, which is on a Thursday, Pluto makes its first dip toe into Aquarius. The first of 5, because it will be retrograding back and forth from 29 degrees of Capricorn, 0 degrees Aquarius, 5 times over the next couple of years before it finally moves in for 20 years. And then this is also big, March 25th, Mars ingress into Cancer. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. Let's see, was there anything else? I'll put this up here again for those of you who might not have seen it. You can pause your screen. These were my horoscope highlights for the month of March. I am preparing for the April highlights. So pause your screen, you can read them. Moving on, we're not doing the cards yet for all zodiac signs. We talked about Saturn moving into Pisces. You can go back to the last video, my March highlights, and see all of this. I do want to point out with Pluto and Aquarius, this is so intense. And I'm going to stop sharing for a minute. So this Pluto in Aquarius, woke up this morning. I like to put on the weather just to see what the day is going to be. Try not to keep the news on. I have been keeping my eye a little bit on the news only because stuff's crazy. So first of all, I hear that Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo bailed out First Republic Bank. Now, this is coming on the heels of 2 other banks being taken over by the federal government here in the United States. I have been in finance for 40 years. So, you know, I've talked about this. If you've been with me for a while, I recently, a couple months ago, did a 90-minute podcast interview with one of my mentors and one of my friends who is a broadcaster, talking about the astrology in finance with our money and how I see the patterns over the last 40 years. But I've looked back for 400 years and I can see the pattern. Anyway, I've been talking about the banking system, Pluto and Capricorn, you know, crumbling down, coming to an end. And, you know, I've gotten a couple of texts over the last 2 weeks of people saying, oh my gosh, Kim, you said this. And I'm like, yeah, because we can't make it up. That's why I love astrology so much. But getting back to these banks bailing out First Republic so it doesn't go under and get taken over by the feds. I want to remind a lot of you, this is what happened. My gosh, I'm a mess. I have something in my eye. This is what happened back in 2006, 2007 to try and avoid the housing bubble burst and the banks collapsing. You know, if you remember how everything just started folding in on each other. Well, the government pulled in Citibank, JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. I know I'm missing somebody. And this is also when the insurance companies were collapsing, and the government forced everyone at that table of those big banks to bail each other out so that we didn't wind up in a financial collapse. Have we not learned anything? Okay. And anybody that says that we aren't in a recession, I've been talking recession for almost 2 years, seeing it coming. Our government's denying that we are in a recession. The evidence is clear. Okay. So I'm just putting it out there. Now, how do you protect your money? One way is to not have more than $250,000 in any one bank at any time. So you are insured by the federal government up to $250,000 per person per banking institution. So, you know, you cannot have, I mean, if you have 5 accounts with, say, Bank of America, and it's and the value is over 250,000, you're going to lose anything that's over 250. So you may want to diversify. As far as investors, like where our retirement money is, it's kind of hard to move that kind of money, but those are not banks per se, but they are still tied to the stocks. So if the banks collapse, you're losing your retirement money. I lost $1.7 million back in that crash because I worked for JP Morgan Chase. You know, when everything imploded. So that's a story for another time. I don't want to freak people out, but you may want to pull some of your money out, stick it under your mattress just for safekeeping. Crypto, very volatile. That's where all of this kind of started from. If you have questions, or if you want more information, if you want me to do a video with more information on this, just comment me and I could put something together, you know, that's more detailed, but this is not the time. We're here to talk about new beginnings. But yeah, keep your eye on things, because with those big banks bailing First Republic out, it just takes me right back to 2006, 2007, when the feds forced all the banks to bail each other out so that this didn't happen. They're trying to stay afloat, but eventually the raft will deflate and it sinks, right? Okay, there's that. All right, with the sun moving into Aries, I have to give a shout out to my friend Valerie, because she had messaged me saying Persephone is coming home. So I love mythology, and this is in Greek and Roman, many different philosophies. Can't think right now. However, Demeter, who was the mother of Persephone, Persephone was stolen. Actually, I can show you. She was stolen from Earth. I'm going to share my screen, right? And taken into the underworld by Pluto, or Hades, but he's, you know, he is Pluto. And Pluto just he was just greedy. He just wanted everything. He wanted possession of everything. So he steals Persephone, he tricks her, and she's stuck down in the underworld. But Demeter, her mother, made a deal with Pluto, or Hades, Lord of the Underworld. that she would be allowed to come home half of the year. Because what happened when Persephone went into the underworld, Demeter was so distraught. She was so heartbroken that we went into winter. Everything fell off the trees. All the leaves fell off the trees. All the plants withered. There was no food. Everything was cold and barren. So Hades had to come up here. Pluto had to come up to Earth and say, like, what gives? Because everybody was starving. So the entire planet was, in upheaval with no food, no resources. And so Pluto cut a deal with Demeter and said, I will return her back at the vernal equinox, and you can have her until the winter solstice. So Persephone gets to come back. Actually, does she go under at the vernal equinox? Because that's autumn, and that's when everything starts to fall, but it's still kind of abundant. It's like harvest season. However, so when Persephone comes home, when she comes back up into the human world, that's when all the spring flowers come out and the trees start to bloom and we can plant food. So check into that little myth. I guess I'm getting long-winded, but I wanted to give Valerie a shout out for reminding me Persephone is coming home, right? This is March 7th, the full worm moon that we just recently had, with Saturn moving into Pisces. Here we go. So this is the equinox, the vernal or autumnal equinox, depending on where you live in the world. Sun moves into Aries. Now, as an astrologer, we really pay attention to where this new beginning, where this astrological new year is going to show up, what house it's showing up in, because that carries the flavor for one full year. And so you can see that, oh, you know what? I don't think that you can see my cursor when I'm in that mode. Hold on. I got to go back. I have to share it this way. Now I think you could see my cursor. 7th house, it's all about relationships. All of our relationships. So that's where the big focus is. We also have Mercury conjunct. So a lot of communication, a lot of mental activity, even though Neptune and the moon at the time of the equinox are in Pisces. This is telling me that some things are hidden within our relationships. We're not seeing things clearly. And so therefore, out in the world also too, because, the 7th house is open enemies that we're aware of. But with Pluto and the moon here, it's really making me think that we are not seeing everything that is going on, right? And I have written here, focus on all relationships, 7th house, health and mental well-being on the Virgo ascendant. So I put an arrow here. Virgo is the rising sign for the equinox. And I was thinking about rising signs this morning when I woke up and I saw just that crack of sunlight coming up over the valley here. And so the sun is in Pisces. And so therefore, that crack of sunlight means that the sign of Pisces, although we can't see it because, the sky isn't dark, but the constellation of Pisces is rising up over the horizon at that moment. So whatever season we're in, whether it's Aquarius season, Gemini season, when you know what the sun is in, the first crack of dawn, the rising sign will be that same sign. Every 2 hours, it advances to the next sign. So go back and share my screen. Every 2 hours, it advances to the next sign, because then that sign's coming up over the horizon. So, for example, we are in, well, we'll take a look at this. Virgo is rising, and this is at 5:24 p.m. But what if somebody is born then, say at 7:24 p.m. this day, Libra would be rising up over the horizon. So you can kind of even figure out, if you haven't figured out your chart, you can almost kind of guesstimate, if you know what time of day or around that you were born, you can kind of guesstimate within a couple of signs what your own rising sign is. Chiron, the wounded healer, with Jupiter, the great benefic, making things bigger. Not to mention Venus in Taurus. Venus represents money. 8th house is all about other people's money. And so I think there's going to be a lot of highlight on this financially. Mercury is the merchant. So I do feel as though we are going to maybe be coming into some kind of financial distress within the world. Because, you know, it doesn't matter what country it's happening in, it all trickles all around the world. And if it's happening, what I've noticed, if it's happening in one part of the world, it's also happening in another part. Uranus, just on the cusp of the 9th house in Taurus. You remember, Taurus is about money, Venus is about money, Mercury is the merchant. Uranus is expect the unexpected, but I feel as though this is possibly some chaotic event that has us shifting our thoughts in a different direction, expanding our thoughts, especially when it comes around to finance, the banking systems, mortgages, investments in general. So I talked about this quite a bit. Also, too, let's point out that the North Node and South Node are coming down to their final degrees in Taurus and Scorpio. They will be getting ready to move into Aries and Libra. So in just a few months' time. So here we are in that grinding, when I've talked about, like, when we get to the final degrees of a sign, it's just grinding in that energy. And so I feel as though our comfort, our finances are going to be disrupted. Here's the new moon in Aries. Okay, so it's occurring, you know, the very next day. The energy here, it's in the 9th house. So this is about broadening our horizons, learning something new, changing our beliefs, seeing things, opening our eyes, taking leaps of faith, taking chances. It's definitely about educating ourselves. Legal issues, legal matters. We're going to see a lot in the way of legal issues happening this year, at least. Well, this chart's for the entire world, so we'll see that. And also a big highlight on the 10th house, like what people are known for in the outer world, that's where the disruption could be. Pluto coming to an end at 29 degrees, 58 minutes of Capricorn, only 2 days away from dipping its toe into Aquarius. 7th house, open enemies and relationships. This is huge, especially to Cancer is the rising sign. I feel very warlike, disruptive relationship disruptions. Now, what did I write? Expect to hear about churches, universities, the law, legal issues, publishing, media, houses, overseas, travel, homes, mortgages, things like that for sure. People's reputations being destroyed. The part of the body that this chart is ruling, it's the cerebrum. So, you know, Aries rules the head. Sabian symbol, a woman has risen out of the ocean, a seal is embracing her. So that's pretty beautiful, if you ask me. And I feel like that's this moon with Neptune is conjuncting the moon and the sun, even though it's out of sign. Yeah. Art, travel, independence are highlighted. Yeah, this is ninth house is very independent. Aries is very independent. And it's almost feels like every man for themselves. Also, Saturn transiting the 8th house, other people's money, death, and endings. And so that's what I have there. So what I was picking up on also too, I mentioned the banking thing earlier. And now also too, what did I see? Poland is sending the first fighter jets over to the Ukraine. And I'm thinking, okay, and I know that we've had some involvement. A lot of countries have had involvement in helping the Ukraine fight, you know, the Russians. And I'm like, we're already kind of in a world war, World War III. Years ago, when I looked at this time period, I could see World War III. Now, like, I don't want to put people in panic, but like, you'd have to be stupid to not realize what's going on. And there's a book that came out, I think, in 54 or 1957, and it's called, I've mentioned it before, I Have No Mouth and I Need to Scream. Pretty sure that's what it's called. It's a dystopian short novella about trying to have world power. China, Russia, the United States, I believe, if I remember correctly. But check that out, because it's, you know, it feels like that's what's happening. And don't be distracted by some of the things that you're seeing on TV, because those distractions, it almost made me think of, like, is this banking issue that's happening distracting us from the war that is being created, or what out there are we not seeing? So a lot will be revealed over the next few months with the aspects that I'm seeing. We're going to see things that have been there, yet maybe there was like a blindfold over our eyes. The blindfold's coming off and we're just like, whoa. A lot of us will be in shock. A lot of people will still be in denial. It's whatever, but it's like, wake up, people. This is what's happening in our world. That's why I love that this is the card, the stone that came out. We have got to stay in that heart space, which is a great segue into St. Patty's Day. I've seen a lot of controversy online that of people virtue signaling other people that are posting St. Patty's Day posts saying, oh, you know, how can you celebrate St. Patrick's Day when our ancestors are still healing? And, you know, same with a lot of different cultures and all over the world throughout time. And that's where that presence card that I pulled for the Virgos, I think it was, or was it the Geminis? I don't know. The presence card that I pulled up. Yes, horrible things have happened throughout history to every culture, everywhere, right? We have to acknowledge that. That's fine. But I feel like we need to stop dwelling on that, because we're just dragging that dead weight, that baggage with us. How are you healing by just holding on to it? This is the epiphany I had, because you all know I've been grieving horribly over the loss of my friends, over the loss of my dog. Yet I still laugh. I still feel joy. But I kind of dumped a little bit of my own baggage today, because I'm like, I can still love and honor him and miss him, but I don't have to stay in that dirty diaper. I don't have to sit in that shit, right? And I could still miss him and I could still love him, but I don't have to like carry that heavy grief with me. I can be sad, right? And I hope you know where I'm going, but like, a lot of people are oppressing themselves by hanging on to what happened to their ancestors, 100 years ago, 200, 300, 1,000 years ago. I get it. I get that pain, but it didn't happen to you. Why are you carrying that? I just feel like, be here in the present, be now, be grateful that you're alive now. Take that hurt and that pain, if that's what you're feeling, and do something in the world with it now. Pluto moving into Aquarius is prime for the healing of all of that, okay? And if you feel a little controversial towards what I said, maybe I didn't articulate it, because I have nothing against, all the people that have had things done wrong to them. I don't think that there is a race or a culture on this planet that hasn't had something happen to them, but that doesn't mean you need to sit in that shitty diaper and carry that heavy baggage with you everywhere. Because how are you healing by carrying that around? Start a new story. Use the Pluto and Aquarius energy to break through and do something about it. If it hurts you that badly, do something to change laws, or, seek restitution. Make sure that these things never happen again. There's all this injustice happening in the world, and we're all just sitting back watching TV or watching our devices saying, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. Oh my God, let's rise up. That's what Pluto and Aquarius is. People rising up to make changes for the greater humanity. Last time Pluto was in Aquarius was back at the American and French revolutions. And look how that turned out, right? Okay. Yeah, I could say more about all of that, but I'm going to let it go. Mars will be moving into Cancer. So this is huge, because Mars doesn't like being in Cancer. It's in its fall. Cancer is ruled by the moon and the emotions. So therefore, you've got this fiery planet moving into a water sign. So it's really putting a damper on that fire. Mars wants to be all beefy and fiery and go, go, go. And Cancer's putting a comfy, wet blanket on top of that fireball. Not to mention, the moon changes signs every 2 to 2.5 days. So Mars's emotions are going up and down. This is a 6-week transit. Mars could be really frustrated, angry, builds up steam. Think about, when you put something wet on top of something hot, it creates steam, right? Boiling deep down until it explodes. So this is what my vision is. I was going to message one of my friends, and I wound up messaging a different friend about They have their moon in Cancer. And I'm like, you know what? You're going to have to be really careful. So Cancer is about security, the home, the family. It is our ancestors. It is our siblings, our cousin. It's that whole family unit. It's our physical house. It's our safety and it's our comfort. Think about what the crab does. It goes back into its shell to stay safe, right? So Mars is coming through and it's disrupting stuff. It's steaming, it's boiling. So all these different things, what it could be family related, you know, things are being triggered, emotions are being triggered. We could be very emotional over the next 6 weeks. Now, with Venus in Taurus, and then, you know, Mars moving into Cancer, we're thinking about our own security, paying our bills, making sure we're safe, making sure we're secure. Is everybody in the family okay? There could be Mars, you know, is disruptive. There could be passings in the family, especially sibling, cousin, mother, father related. What else? This is a really good time, though. There is positive energy. If you're looking to sell your home or buy a home and move, Mars in Cancer is perfect. The only thing is that you may make a decision and then 2.5, 3 days later, when the moon changes signs, you may regret that decision. Just hold on a couple more days and you'll be like, oh, okay, I did make the right decision. But if you need that energy to clean out the home, move home, you know, like move your home to another place, this is great energy for that. I'm going to caution everybody because of the emotions and the ego of that Mars steamy fieriness. Please think before you speak, because you could be losing a job, you could be losing your housing, you could be losing relationships, but things that make you feel secure, you could be losing. So bite your tongue, halt small, and socks nix. I know that the accents were horrible. Halt mal und sag nix, which is shut your mouth and say nothing in German or in French, fermez la bouche. Really think before you speak. And I'm going to leave it at that. And was that everything I wanted to talk about? I think so. All right. I don't know how far we are into this recording, but I am time stamping. All right, I'm going to unveil this. I'm going to take a quick little break first and then come back and we're going to crack this baby open. I'm going to pull cards for all zodiac signs. We'll explore this together. All right, I'm back from my little bathroom break. Let's crack this baby open. So it is the new Colette Baron-Reid Dreamweaver's Oracle deck. It consists of 44 cards and a guidebook. Illustrations are by Joel Macamora, which is interesting because Jenna DiGrotalia has always been Colette Baron-Reid's illustrator. So, I mean, I can understand branching out. And I know Jenna's got some personal things going on. I hope she's okay. She's a fantastic artist, right? All right, so let's break it open. It says you are the magic you are looking for on the inside of the box. And it comes with the typical Colette Baron-Reid guidebook, as always. First time opening it, so I don't even know. I've seen a few of the cards. And this says, on the back side of the box, You are more than you know, meant for a magical, meaningful life. You are more than you know, meant for a magical, meaning life. I don't know. That's a little confusing to me right now, probably because I worked all day and now I'm doing this, right? All right, my favorite part is cracking the seal with all of you, right? So here we go. Haha, I love it. All right, so I'm not going to go through the entire deck. I am going to do my usual shuffle and cut. And I'm going to pull the first 12 cards off the top for all zodiac signs. I may need to read from the little book. Whoa, card just came flying. 2 cards flew out of the deck. All right, well, they're going to be our cards for the week, right? Or for the rest of the month. I can't even see what they are because I don't have my glasses on. Let me cut these and then I'll show you what those cards are. Okay, let's see. This is what came flying out of the deck. Number 42, when you're neither here nor there. Oh, that is so perfect for right now, I think. It just makes me think of Pluto. Pluto trying to move out of Capricorn into Aquarius, and it just can't get very far. And then number 43, when the ones you need fly close. That talks about support. So when you're neither here nor there, that talks to me about being in the in-between. Just like I said, with Pluto trying to get out of Capricorn, move into Aquarius, and it just really can't. It's kind of stuck between 29 Capricorn, 0 Aquarius, and it just keeps grinding back and forth. We're in a holding pattern. However, the next card says that support is coming your way, whether it be angelic, ancestral, or physical, it's coming. More on that, I'll get more information on that, and I'll post that on Facebook and Instagram over the next 2 weeks. Looks like I need a little lippy touch up. I love this lip gloss. Smells like vanilla cupcakes. And this is, not that I'm trying to plug, this is Jeffree Star's Supreme Gloss. I love Jeffree Star because he has 7 Pomeranians, and I follow him basically for that. Now he has a yak ranch with camels and tons of yaks in Wyoming. He has left the California life for a simpler life. And this particular color, if you're interested, it's like a berry. It actually looks prettier in person. It's more purpley. The color is, I still can't even see it because these are not the right glasses for me, right? Why am I doing this on here? It is called, so what I do is I take pictures of things and then I blow it up so I can read. Anybody else do that? The color is called improper. Well, that's me, right? Okay, let's get into this. I'm going to start with Aries. This is for the rest of the month, but it's also for the equinox and the sun moving into Aries and the new moon in Aries that is coming. All right, so Aries, you have number 7. If you hear a Sasquatch sigh, interesting. Let's see if I can't. I was going to say, I can put that down here somehow? Okay, if you can hear, oh my God, I'm a freaking mess, aren't I? Come on, just stay. Just stay. Maybe I could put this moonstone right there and hold it. Okay, if you can hear a Sasquatch sigh, just until I can get my bearings, right? First time opening this book. Essential meaning, spiritual narcolepsy, seeing through the lens of separation, competition, arrogance, ego, narrow-mindedness. That sounds like the shadow side of Aries to me, if I'm not mistaken. It says, if you hear a Sasquatch sigh, know that they are sad because you've fallen into the trap of spiritual narcolepsy. You've forgotten your partnership with the universe and instead are working through your ego. Holy crap, right? You think you see clearly, but you're temporarily blinded to the magic in the world. Perhaps you're comparing yourself with others, or perhaps you are seeing through the lens of lack and limitation and adversity, and therefore thinking there isn't enough or that you are not enough. In this moment, you're being called to wake up and remember the inherent divinity in all things and all people. Perhaps you can't see the magic and mystery because you've lost faith. You don't believe, or you've become hypnotized by temporary outer conditions that present as rigid or fixed. You may feel an overwhelming weight and responsibility on your shoulders to make things happen. Yes, life can be truly hard, unfair, unreliable, exhausting, irrational, and chaotic, but none of those things are permanent or personal. Remember, all those things must change and will change, and you are now and always have been a conduit for miracles. Wake up, reorient yourself, declutter your thoughts and your environment, and be grateful these episodes are fleeting. You do not need to define your sense of self by outer conditions. This is a time to dive into more self-love and compassion. Cultivate a sense of humor, for you are more than enough. You matter, and life loves you so much. Look to the signs around you. The whole world is your oracle. Spirit has a plan. Pretty damn good, huh? I think so. And I hope you don't mind that I'm reading these books, but I think it's just perfect for all of us, right? Okay, Taurus. Let's see. Maybe it didn't shuffle so great. Taurus, when you feel the magic sing, card number 6, pretty beautiful. The essential meaning, the aha moment, on the right track. Hope is real. You are being cared for. Partnership with spirit is true. You are not alone, and you are being used for a higher purpose. That moment where the light bulb in your mind goes on, your heart goes ding, and time stands still. Suddenly, a bright light reveals something that was hidden, that you've been looking for but didn't know it. When you feel the magic sing, you know your connection to source, to the love of the universe. In that one timeless moment, you realize that times can stretch beyond what you ever thought possible. And you're given an expanded view and a second chance. More of you is available for whatever it is you need to experience. This is access to more than before, and likely you're not going to know how any of this happened. Now is the time to remember a moment like this in your life and be ready for it to happen again. Perhaps this reflects your current experience. Regardless, you're about to enter a time of harmony where you will be certain of your alignment with the highest good for all. It's a beautiful feeling to know that your note in the symphony of life is pure and in tune. Use this moment wisely and be conscious of distractions. Discernment, right? So when you feel the magic sing and your intuition pings you, this is a time to receive, expand, and rejoice. All right. It's going to be a long video. Gemini. Maybe I didn't shuffle so good. Card number 5. Let your dreams be woven true. It's really pretty. Okay. Let your dreams be woven true. Card number 5. The essential meaning of the card. The card of the dream weavers. Co-creation, partnership with the divine powers, trusting your dreams will be in alignment with your soul's destiny, surrendering your will to a higher power. Human beings often believe they create their world through the power of determination and will alone. Hard work and effort, striving, ambition, focus, imagination, and desire are all worthy components of reality creation, but they are not the only ones. To truly be an empowered co-creator and work your magic in the world, you need to remember you are in partnership with your higher power. This is the metaphor of the dream weavers. It is a reminder that you are never alone. There are always divine forces at work on your behalf. I really kind of needed to hear that. Listening to the stories in your mind and your heart and reflecting them back out into the outer world. There is another message here about the strands in the fabric of reality that constantly are being woven. While there are things you cannot change or control, there are also the threads you choose to weave into the fabric of life based on the electric force within you. You dance between surrender and creation, fueled by your inspired dreams and intentions. Now is not the time for pushing harder, but for allowing things to organically take their course. Do your part, taking your steps, but surrendering the rest to the divine. Remember, your job is to know your why and hold space for the energy of your dream. In weaving the sacred essence of your desire, the how of it will be revealed. Weave and let go, weave and release. Let your dreams be woven true, and like magic, things will seem to work out even when you're not concentrating on the pattern. I like that. Cancer. All right, Cancer, card number 4. What the heckity heck? I mean, it is what it is. This is, you saw me shuffle pretty well. I cut the deck, right? Okay. It says, if the river flows this way. The essential meaning is the importance of going with the flow, feeling the sense of being one with the currents of life, trusting you will never drown as your destiny wants you to go this way. The flow state is a way of surrendering and trusting the benevolent forces of life. It's surprising that we don't spend more time here, as it's an amazing creative place to be, magical and peaceful, yet brimming with potential. Flow is a state that's readily accessible through any activity that captures your effortless focus, such as meditation, dancing, painting, or even taking a shower. Right now, you're being invited and guided to go with the flow, to allow the current of life to move you forward. You don't need to struggle, to plan or strategize, to resist or push. This is not about effort. This magical flow knows where it's going and where you fit into its plan. Allowing and surrendering is what's called for now, no matter if the water becomes choppy or feels like it's carrying you away, you will not drown. This is a time of the most creative and life-enhancing times for you. All you must do is allow. When your inspired ideas come to the surface, follow along. Whatever is calling for your attention, immerse yourself in it and see where it takes you. If the river flows this way, go with the current for only the highest good. Just keep doing what you've been doing, weaving your dreams and desires in a graceful rhythm, and all will be well. Sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. Okay. And I believe that the word card for Cancer was surrender, right? Could be wrong. I don't know. So much time has passed since I pulled that. All right, Leo. Leo, you have, I know a couple Leos that are going to love this. You have card number 3. No surprise. And it is when Coyote calls your name. I love this. It's beautiful. When Coyote calls your name. The essential meaning is divine detours, the value of not getting what you think you want, discovering greater treasure when you are forced to change course. Sometimes you find yourself confused about your direction. You might have been so sure you were meant for this situation, this love, this job, this thing, yet you're forced to walk away. All the signs have been pointing to the potential magic and fulfillment, but somehow things are not turning out the way you expected or wanted. When Coyote calls your name, you're being given a great gift. This apparent loss, detour, or change of course has been set in motion to give you what you truly need. The dream weavers know the truth in your heart. They know the perfect reflections of your greatest dreams are already available and woven into the fabric of your life, just waiting for you to discover them. But they are meant to come in a different form than the one that you have been attached to. In this moment, it's important for you to surrender your expectations and trust in divine timing and form. When Coyote calls your name, you will know this way was the best for you after all. Your life is woven true, and the new threads of your experience sparkle. There really was no loss or disappointment at all, only a new meaningful adventure and a beautiful new story to tell. Okay, so next up, Virgo. Guess what? It's card number 2. And your card is Let the Fire Dragons Sleep. Ooh, okay. The essential meaning is a warning to stay out of drama, respecting the consequences of possible dangerous outcomes, dealing with contrary people. Fire dragons are powerful and uncontrollable by their very nature. They can cause destruction and damage that can take a long time to heal from. I'm hearing all you Virgos out there saying, no, no, no. Well, trust me, I've got a Virgo stellium, and this makes me a little nervous. And the beautiful sunset, cotton candy skies. Sorry, when this card arrives, it's a gentle warning that whatever situation or person is inviting you to dance with, anger or jealousy, resentment must be avoided. Do not step into that drama. All right, this is not a time for battle or even engaging in an argument because there is no underlying strategy or logic to the situation at hand. You will cause yourself and others unnecessary suffering if you take this on because you're sure to lose. Do not let anyone or any situation provoke you. Know that the situation is rooted in a deep, unhealed wound, one either inflicted by you or projected onto you. This situation cannot be healed through this expression, or it could become an indulgence and misuse of power. That said, the fire dragons are not your enemy. They arrive to warn you when you are about to make a choice that could potentially hurt you. Be thankful for this. You can say no and choose to move away from the danger and the drama to a higher ground. Have a sense of humor now, for laughter tickles the fire dragons. Sleep, content, and curled up in their cave. You will be so glad you did. Your weaving must remain true to the patterns you want to see more of and the stories of your journey to be proud of. If you keep the road of your destiny if you keep to the road of your destiny and your eyes on the prize, holding space for your unique gifts, your light will be a beacon of hope for us all. Pretty cool, huh? Sorry, I got to peek outside to see the sunset. Oh my gosh, it's glorious. The west is out there. I knew that if I could see the sunset to the east, that it would be glorious out there. But I'm going to keep going. All right. Libra. Let's see, card number 1, maybe? Card number 1. Look, it is what it is, right? Card number 1 for the Libras, new beginning. So think about it. Aries is the opposite of Libra. So this new moon is going to be huge for the Libras. When the storm spirits play. The essential meaning is understanding how to navigate divine chaos, clear the air, stir the pot. Oh, I know my favorite Libra can really stir the pot, scatter seeds, and bring new possibilities. You're being asked to surrender your need to control outer circumstances, which is based on a desire to feel more certain, avoid confrontation, or resist change. This card signifies a time to trust that this chaos, this disorder, this turbulence has shown up in your life is temporary, but it is important. You're now able to let go of what is unnecessary or that which you've resisted releasing. Consider how clear the air is after a storm, how dead branches are pruned from trees, and how potent seeds are scattered so that new life can sprout in new soil. Even if you find yourself in conflict now, there is a gift in this. It invites you to see things from an alternative perspective and provides you with a lot of valuable information. New important possibilities arise from the chaos at hand. For now, the highest good for you is to remain in the center of the storm. Meditate and be mindful of your reactions as you don't yet have all the information needed to make an authentic choice. Watch and wait. There is a divine reordering at the root of all of this chaos. Listen deeply for the epiphany arising to greet you, and you will know that the gifts this experience holds, you will know of the gifts this experience holds for you. When the storm spirits play, amazing things are stirred up through the divine change for the highest good of all. Remember, you are a weaver of dreams too, even if you must pivot, even if Even if the threads of your destiny get frayed, the pattern you set will be breathtaking. That's pretty nice. All right. Coming into the final stretch, thank goodness. Scorpio, card 44 says, weavers know that all is good. Weavers know that all is good. That page. That's the last card in the deck. Okay. Oh, it says weavers know that all is God. Okay. I saw good. All right. Essential meaning, the conscious universe is the source of supply. Spirit is fundamental to life. The mystical is the primary reality. The weavers know that all is God. Do you? This is a profound magical time in your life, and it's important that you recognize your relationship with your higher power as essential and primary. Consider all the gifts of your very existence. When you breathe, ask yourself, who is breathing with you? What force moves through you, animating you and those you love? The universe is the spark of light within you and nature. In you is true magic, connecting you to the web of all of creation. Each strand woven on your behalf is pure consciousness. Right now, you're being asked to remember this and feel what this means to you. Every single thing in your life is sacred and infused with the power of spirit, the conscious universe. Even your difficulties are infused with the sacred and are always beckoning you to remember who you truly are. An immortal, a spiritual being having a mortal human experience. Can you see right now that whatever you're asking about has divinity sparkling through it? Treat the subject of your query with reverence and step into the sacred dance. You cannot go wrong. You're meant to have this experience right now. Pretty profound. Sagittarians, number 8. Could it be a dragonfly? That's the name of the card. Okay. Could it be a dragonfly? The essential meaning says seeing, pretty, seeing the meaning beyond the illusion of perception. Signs from the universe are all around, recognizing the outer world as a living oracle, paying attention to the signs. There are days when you begin to notice just how in sync you are with the world. While you're thinking of a person, they call you, or you see their name on the side of a truck. You might need to know the answer to something important. Then you overhear just what information you need in the lyrics of a song on the radio or in a conversation, right? It's common to develop a relationship to a sign that always shows up when the spirit of someone you've loved and lost is nearby. Isn't that the truth? Oftentimes it's based in nature, like a feather or a butterfly. Maybe a dragonfly shows up to let you know that you're on the right track. Now is the time for you to trust those signs in the world around you as a way in which the universe reflects you, witnesses you, and loves you dearly. Pay attention, as the entire world is your oracle. Uncanny and serendipitous occurrences remind you that you matter, that the universe is watching over you. Could it be a simple dragonfly, or is it that a message from spirit sparkling through its wings? That makes sense. Trust these symbolic moments. They are sacred and personal. That was really, really beautiful. Capricorn. Card 23, painting joy across the sky. Capricorns, creating new stuff. Essential meaning, joy in all forms, loving life, being grateful, sharing joy, and reverence for all life. Life can be a sticky place some days where safety and trust may not come easily. How do you trust a world that is changing so rapidly, where people seem more and more disconnected from each other, from nature, and from spirit? You work hard and you hope for the best, but you can be easily disheartened and disappointed. Yes, life is a struggle. It can be unfair, hard, corrupt, and hopeless, but it's simultaneously hopeful, brilliant, trustworthy, good, and beautiful. Nothing will ever be perfect, but neither will it ever be permanent. Can you bring your attention to the beauty of the cosmos, of nature, and all her inhabitants to see the beauty within each person and encounter? Can you remember that joy is a perception, a perspective, or an action? Breathe in and tune into the energy of gratitude. Choose to be kind and compassionate citizen of the world, regardless of the challenges surrounding you. Give freely of your heart, then you will know how to paint joy across the sky. Joy doesn't need the outer world to behave. In fact, the greatest expression of joy can arise from your deepest sorrows. Remember that joy is an energy, and a contagious one at that. When you cultivate it and spread it freely, the outer world will reflect it back to you in a form that is so beautiful and meaningful. Choose joy today, and soon you'll note how much richer and fulfilled you are. In fact, more reasons to be joyful will spring up in your outer world the more you pay attention to joy. It's pretty nice. Aquarius. Oh, and by the way, this is the back of the card. Aquarius, card 22. Master number. And your card is Surfing Rainbows on the Moon. The essential meaning is the power of imagination when led by inspiration and intuition, the source of innovative thinking and being playful. You're at a place where no matter your inquiry, the answer is the same. It's time to be playful. Let curiosity lead and allow your imagination to help you dream without limits. You are a powerful co-creator in this world and capable of so much more than you give yourself credit for. Even though you've come this far, you doubt whether you can ever achieve the life, the career, the relationship that you really want. It's not that what you want, it's not that, wait, it's not that what you have isn't good enough, but is it all that it could be? Have you placed limits on yourself or others in your mind? Have you so much to give, so much within you that you have not even touched the surface of it yet? Write down your dreams, write down your goals, your deepest desires for your life, and play with that. Rehearse them as if you were there already. How do they make you feel? Have you considered who you need to become to, sorry, I can't even read right now. I'm just like spacing out. How do they make you feel? Have you considered who you need to become to experience all of this? The only limits you have exist in your own perception. Imagine you are surfing rainbows on the moon. Don't worry about how you'll get there. Just don't limit yourself. So this is really saying, like, dream big, right? Especially not now. Give wings to visions of your life and commit to fly. Let the universe take care of the how. When you let your imagination soar, you discover that miracles can and do come true. Let me get a sip of coffee. All right, last but not least, or last and thank goodness least, Pisces. It is card number 21. Good thing I didn't review the entire deck. Card number 21, all the shoes fell from the sky. Okay. Waiting for the other shoe to drop. Expectation of failure as means of self-sabotage. Ooh. Fear of success, not trusting good fortune. Okay. Sometimes when good things are presented to us, we keep our guard up because we're still expecting the worst to happen. We exaggerate our fears, or we get triggered and we begin to speak about what is missing, what does not work, what could go wrong, or why we shouldn't attempt something or continue something. We may genuinely want something, but push it away, rationalizing it that we won't get it perfect. This mindset is actually a way to exert control over an outcome. You can neither fail nor succeed when you keep yourself suspended, staring at the proverbial shoes falling from the sky. It's easier to remain in stasis than to take the risk and move forward with your dream or take action to build something better. This card gently tells you it's time to shift your thinking. Nothing will ever be perfect, and there will always be a shoe that drops here and there. That's life. If you don't step forward towards your dreams, you'll regret it. So summon your courage, and the dream weavers will weave their magic of protection around you and shower you with love. All the shoes may fall from the sky and in some other universe, but not in yours. All right, my goodness, really long video. Thank you so much for watching. If you stayed, happy new moon, happy equinox. Get out there, maybe do your rituals or don't. Yeah, I hope you like this, and I will see you for the April horoscopes, forecasts, and card reading for the month of April. Be back in a couple weeks. Bye.